Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking about what is probably the most constant and repurchased product in my bathroom and has been for more than 10 years. It's the good old-fashioned micellar water. Now this is a product you can buy everywhere. You can buy it in the drugstore, you can buy it at the grocery store, you can buy it at the department store. I mean, every single brand out there has a micellar water now. But I was just picking up a new replacement for it this weekend and it got me thinking, when was the first time I even heard about it? Because when I started using this product, which I don't know, it's more than 10 years ago, you couldn't buy it in Ireland. I wasn't using it in the US, so it definitely happened over here. And I moved to Ireland in 2005. So I started trying to figure out, when did I start using it? I think it goes back to Lisa Eldridge, and she is a makeup artist to the stars. She lives in the UK, and I've been watching her forever. She's probably one of the first people I ever started watching on YouTube, and I knew of her before, but I knew that every time she went to France, she would go into the local pharmacies and she would just buy buckets of the stuff and bring it back to the UK. So when I went to buy this product, you couldn't buy it here. So I was buying it off of eBay. No kidding. I was buying it off of eBay. I was buying like a 3-pack and having that sent to Ireland. So I have been using this for years, and I've been using it a lot longer than I actually knew what it was. I think I thought it was just some fancy, nice little French water number situation. And it wasn't until I realized how it worked that I got the true benefit of it. So it comes from the French word micellar, and micelles are actually tiny little molecule clusters. We need to back up a little bit to talk about surfactants, because that's what makes up the micellar water. It's surfactants and water. So we can't go too sciencey here because I'm not too sciencey, but my understanding is that surfactants are molecules that have two different parts, kind of opposing parts. They have a head that's attracted to water, but it hates oil. And then it has a little tail that's attracted to oil and hates water, because as we know, oil and water don't mix. So these molecules allow these things to take place, to kind of coexist together. So we're going to use food as an example, because surfactants are in all sorts of stuff, from shampoos and soaps and to absolutely everything, including food, because it allows things to coexist where they shouldn't. So mayonnaise is made up of vinegar and oil, and vinegar and oil do not play nicely together. So egg yolk is introduced as an emulsion, as a surfactant, because what it does is that the molecules kind of surround the oil and they mask it so vinegar doesn't realize it's there. And it has this nice creamy consistency because one doesn't know that the other is actually there. So that is what micellar water is doing. So this concoction of water and these surfactants allow the skin to be cleaned. So you can't see all the magic that's happening there. So when you apply this to a cotton round and that hits your skin, those little molecules are attaching to the debris, to the oil, to the dirt, and loosening it all up so that it's wiped away cleanly. And it's funny because I used this thing for years and I actually don't think I realized how well it was working. So some like to use this as their only cleansing mechanism because it is actually designed for people with sensitive skin. The surfactants within micellar water is actually designed to be kinder to the skin. Now, however, I don't actually use it in this way because for me, that's not going to get my skin clean enough, but I could see how it's a good alternative for others who need just a softer, kinder option. Others like to use this as a toner, which I can totally understand because again, that might get off any remaining remnants of cleansers or anything else left on your skin. And it also contains hydrators to help protect the barrier. But for me, that's not how I use it either. I actually only use this to remove my eye makeup. So I'm actually not even using it every day. It's probably maybe 3 days a week. It is the best eye makeup remover before I do a double cleanse. So particularly if I'm wearing mascara, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but so often when you see people doing a first cleanse, they'll put on their stuff and then it just turns into this big old fat mess. Now that's great for showing how effective a particular cleanser is, but for me, I find it incredibly disgusting on myself. So I like to get rid of some of that stuff before I go in for my double cleanse. So I put this on a cotton pad. And I just now realize I should have actually done some footage to show you, but it's not complicated. It's not going to be a big surprise. And I put it on a pad and then I kind of put it on my eyes and I wiggle it down because that helps to remove a lot of my mascara. And then I turn it over and I kind of wiggle it up because it takes the mascara along the bottom line. So I'm getting a good, substantial, most actually of my mascara off before I do a cleanse. And I do that on both eyes. So there are a million brands out there and I have actually tried them all. From Simple to loads of Garnier. CeraVe has one that I actually have in the bathroom right now, but there really is only one brand for me that I think is the most effective. And I keep going back to it. And I don't even know why I bother deviating because you can actually buy it everywhere. And that is Bioderma. Those are the guys I bought from the very beginning and I've continued to use. Now they are in most chemists around Ireland, so I'm able to pick it up pretty easily, which I did over the weekend because I'm getting to the end of my CeraVe. And the CeraVe was fine, and I think the Simple is fine, and the Garnier is fine. But I just find this one works a little bit better, and maybe that's in my brain. I don't know. but it's up to me because I'm purchasing, so I can do whatever I want. So this particular one that I have here today is not one that I ordinarily get. This one is specifically for combination to oily skin, but they have a ton of different varieties if you have different skin concerns. Now, the one time I do tend to use Garnier is when I travel, because every time I get on a plane for more than 6 hours, which is usually to the States, which I'll do maybe 3 or 4 times a year, I always do a big spa experience when I'm up in the air. And the very first thing I do is I remove any sunscreen that I have that I've worn to the airport. So as soon as I sit down on the plane, I use my little wipe and I use my little micellar water and I get everything off. And then I start a series of all sorts of fun stuff like masks and oils and spritzes. And I do that for the next, 6 to 12 hours, however long I'm on a plane. But my first step is still always the micellar water. So that's it for today's video. It's kind of a quick one and one that I realized I never actually talk about, which I'm surprised because it's probably the most used and the most frequently purchased in my arsenal. So what about you guys? Do you use the micellar water? I mean, many think it's kind of gimmicky, but when you learn more about the science behind it, you realize it's actually doing a job. And for me, I'm telling you, nothing works like this on the old eye makeup. So let me know your thoughts, put them down below. And if you've made it this far, thank you for staying. And if you like the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, I'll see you at the next video. Bye. Okay.